Josh. Josh, I can't pronounce your last name. Purpleshine. Can you tell us a little bit about your involvement with Super 7?
Sure. Come on out. Yeah, thank you. Hey guys. How's it going? Good. Glad to hear it. Let me get my system going on here. So, I'm Josh. I'm from Super 7. We make some toys and some things like that. So, just briefly, I want to just say a little bit about who we are. We're a toy company based out of San Francisco, and this is sort of our manifesto. We grew up, we're nerds for comic books, monster movies, Star Wars, He-Man, punk rock, skateboarding, etc., etc. And we grew up, and they're just, the stuff we wanted didn't exist, so we started making it. We were founded in 2001 by Brian Flynn, who couldn't be here unfortunately, with a magazine. It was sort of about his obsessive collecting habit for Japanese monster toys. And we ran this magazine for, I don't know, 8 years or so, did a bunch of issues. If you go to super7hq.com, you can download every issue we ever made as a PDF, see the whole history of what we, where we came from and how we sort of got from then to now. We started as a magazine, then opened a store, and then we started making, originally it was Godzilla vinyls. So we'd make these collaborations with our friends in Japan and Mars-san, Marmot, M1, and a lot of companies like that, where it'd be like, it would be cool if there was an orange Godzilla, and that doesn't exist, so we'd make it happen. And then over time, we sort of transitioned into making our own original characters as vinyl figures, and then from there, moved into reaction figures with the Alien Reaction series from a couple years back. Following the Alien series, we got in touch with Mattel, and they invited us to sort of pitch whatever we would like to pitch around Masters of the Universe. And so that all started last year at Skeletor Slayer at San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm sure a lot of you were there. I think I recognize some faces. And so we made just a whole range of different things around Masters of the Universe, such as the action figures, the muscle series, and our Japanese vinyl series. So the action figures, as I'm sure a lot of you know, the concept was sort of a fake history. What if these characters had come out in the States in like the late 70s rather than the 80s? What would they have looked like? And so we reimagined them as these sort of Kenner Star Wars style action figures. And we started with some concept drawings, just some kind of rough ideas, and then we worked with the guy who's actually the head of sculpting at Kenner during the Star Wars era. And so he sculpted Luke Skywalker, and then he sculpted He-Man, Skeletor, and friends. And here they are, this is kind of a rough, in-process view of what these things looked like as they were coming together. And then, of course, that's what they looked like when he polished them off. And then we released the early prototype version at Comic-Con, followed by the grayscale version. And then, in addition to that, we did the muscle line. And the concept here was sort of, muscle was a property of Mattel that we were into when we were kids. Masters of the Universe was a property of Mattel we were into when we were kids. But somehow they never crossed over, and it seemed like a pretty natural thing to combine. So we did that, same kind of thing, started with some crude sketches, and then went on to the figures at least the first wave of figures we made. And then with the Japanese vinyl toys, the idea here was a sort of a different fake history, where what if He-Man had come out in Japan in the 1980s instead of the US? And so that's how we came up with this, working with some friends of ours in Tokyo, and said reimagine these things as if they were toys you grew up with. And then that's where these came from. And then here's just a little bit of progress. what these things looked like when they were just still a clay sculpture, and then it's a sort of a handmade process where the pieces of vinyl are put in this brass clamp, where they get airbrushed by hand, and then you see that's what the final result looks like. We're not actually making the weird, or maybe we will make the Neon Beastman actually. That's just sort of a test to make sure all the paint masks work. So that's what we've done so far. And we've had a lot of people come up throughout the weekend asking what we're going to be doing next. So the next thing we're going to do is Muscle Wave 2. So there's 12 characters in the next series. These are just a little appetizer, and these we will have at San Diego Comic-Con this year. In addition to that, we will be doing just expanding the line to include a few new characters. We've got Sorceress, Trapjaw, Man-at-Arms, and Triclops also coming at San Diego Comic-Con this year. So yeah, that's all I got. Anyone has questions? We can just shoot the breeze here.
Questions? Come on up to the microphone if you have.
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
My name is Brian Ozone, and those look awesome, but I was just wondering if the Sorceress is going to come with some type of wings, or like a backpack, or...
She will have a vinyl cape, sort of like
okay.
Princess Leia, Darth Vader style cape, to keep in that 1970s Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
What about the Trapjaw? Would he come with like separate accessories, like how he usually comes like 3 different things? Would he...
Yeah, he comes with, he has the same accessories, and you can hold them up, plug
Right,
them
the
in.
claw, the gun, and,
Yep.
and then the hook. Yeah, all right, cool. Keep up the good work, man. The shit is awesome.
Thank you.
Cool.
Any other questions? Come on down.
Hi, I was wondering with your collaboration with Mattel if it's a possibility you could do Thundercats in the future?
Yeah.
We've talked about it, and we definitely want to get there. It's a little bit of a different thing because Thundercats is owned by somebody else, and you get into some of the legal weirdness of licensing. So it's on the list. We have, because I'm a nerd for Thundercats as well, the Muscle series, I've drawn them all up. The action figures, they're all designed, they're ready to go. They're not sculpted, of course, but it's just, once we have that deal in place, then we'll be able to go there. Hopefully later this year, maybe next year, but don't quote me on any of the timeline just yet.
Sure, thanks.
Yeah, of course.
It's awesome.
Hi there. My name's Rob. I'm curious on the new figures coming out. Are you going to do the same, like the monochromatic and then the black and white? And,
Well, I can't spill all the beans quite yet, but they will show up at Comic-Con in some capacity, along with a whole range of other surprises. Hey, buddy.
That was our question too.
Do you get? What are the chances of doing like play sets or vehicles to go with these?
Oh yeah.
Strong.
Sweet.
Yeah, we nothing in the works quite yet that I can talk about at least. But as long as people remain interested and want to continue to collect them, we'll make them till the cows come home. They're super fun. I love it. I grew up watching He-Man, so I will make literally all the characters if people are interested.
We're interested.
Okay.
I love them. I got my first wave last week. I was so excited.
Awesome.
I ripped them right open, took pictures of them. Curious, character selection. Why Sorceress before Teela?
Just to mix things up. just try something different.
What about Princess of Power figures? Any chance we get them in this style too?
Sort of same deal as Thundercats, really. We want to get into that as well. When you get into the legal beeswax of it, for whatever reason, our current deal is for Masters, and She-Ra is a separate thing. So as soon as we can make all of those legal parts align, we're totally into it.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
So I'm a big fan of your t-shirts,
Oh, yeah.
and I would love to see more. And are there any like t-shirts or hats or other apparel that you would like to do, like maybe a vintage like high school leather jacket in a He-Man style? That would be interesting.
That would be interesting. We're definitely doing more new t-shirt designs. We're going to do Skeletor's Lair Part 2 at San Diego this year. And so all of that sort of next wave of stuff will debut there. Right now it's just t-shirts and sweatshirts and that type of thing, but it'd be super fun to make a jacket, get into making some hats and other accessories, so we're into it. I mean, same kind of thing as like getting deep into the characters of action figures. If people want those types of things, we're super into making it. And we just want to have fun with the brand and make stuff that we would be into ourselves.
You have the exclusive, the slime
Yeah.
little tussle here at PowerCon. Is that going to be available outside of the convention, or is it just here?
The slime is only here, but we are doing a different version of the trash can that sort of is modeled on the old muscle trash cans, where it's a clear can with different colored figures inside, and that's going to become an ongoing thing. But the slime is just here.
Hi, how's
Hi.
it going? So I hear that you have a presence down in San Diego, and you'll be distributing that exclusive She-Ra doll for
Yes.
Comic-Con. Is your presence in San Diego permanent, or are you just there for Comic-Con?
We have a permanent store down there.
You do? Okay,
So the location of Skeletor's Lair,
Okay.
the other 51 weeks of the year, whatever, is a Super 7 location.
Nice, okay.
And we will have that the Mattel She-Ra figure at San Diego at Skeletor's Lair. We're still just sorting out some of the details, but
Right.
we'll make a formal announcement sometime in the next few weeks here.
Okay, cool. I like your shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, you as well.
Other questions?
What is the release plan going to be? Is it just going to be 4 a year, or are there plans to expand?
I'm sorry.
To expand to more than 4 toys per year for the Masters?
reaction?
Oh yeah. So it's sort of this first year. It just took a little time to kind of get up and running, but or to get to sort of a level of well-oiled machineness. So now we just released Wave 1, the full color carded correct set. Just landed like 2 weeks ago, and then we're going to have Wave 2 in just over a month. So we've gotten quite a bit faster, and if Wave 2 is successful, we've got Wave 3 planned. I have drawings through Wave 5 at this point, so we've got the sculptor on deck. If people want them, we'll keep going.
And how fast do you think waves could come if things go well?
You get into a little bit of it takes a little bit of time to sculpt and tool and produce and all of that. Realistically, from the time we say go to the sculptor to the time you could be holding it is probably 5 months is the fastest scenario. So we're going to test Wave 2 at Comic-Con, see how that goes. I expect it will go well. So at that point, if we start Wave 3, then maybe end of the year we'll have Wave 3.
Thanks.
I love the artwork on the card backs for that. It reminds me of
yeah.
Clash of the Titans or something.
Yeah, well, that's funny because the artwork was done by Jason Edmiston, who's incredibly talented. But when we first talked about it, I sent him some Clash of the Titans cards. He was like, make it He-Man and make it like this. And he did an incredible job. Incredible job.
Other questions?
I mean, you guys have been doing a great job with everything you've been doing, but do you have any plans in the future to do anything else with the Masters property? Are there any, I don't know, figures or what, anything, you know, merchandise like we had in the 80s, you know, I mean, because it's like you guys are like right now in the loyal subjects, besides Mattel, are the only two other companies pretty much keeping the product alive. So do you have plans on expanding and doing other things?
We do. We actually have some kind of huge plans.
Good.
That we're going to debut at Skeletor Slayer.
Okay.
That Brian, the founder of Super 7 and my boss, will totally be, he will kill me if I talk about it.
So this would be what, at San Diego?
Yeah. So starting in the first week of July, we'll start teasing out what all of that is, and right as we lead up to the event, we'll sort of reveal everything.
Okay.
I think you'll be impressed. It's
So-
kind of we've got a pretty big project.
So basically, but it won't be available yet for San Diego, just what we just saw now? Or?
There will be more than just that.
Oh, really?
For sure, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Now,
I can't spill the beans quite yet.
will it be available also on the website or just at San Diego?
A little of both. Some
Really?
some things here, some things there.
Okay.
I can't get too much more specific than that
Okay.
today, I'm afraid. But stay tuned.
Yeah.
Beginning of July, we'll start putting all the
Okay.
all the word out.
All right, thanks.
I have a guess, but I'm not gonna say it just in case I don't become correct. You guys had some really cool stuff at San Diego last year in terms of exclusives, like the Mossman Chia Pet and stuff like that. Do you have any like wacky, fun stuff like that planned at all?
We do. We have a couple things that are sort of in that same zone of like, you know, we made the Mossman Chia Pet as just like, oh, this would be funny, you know, and we'll make it, and we sort of figured like, I don't know what we're gonna do with, you know, this unsold stock after the event, because no one's gonna want this, but it's funny, so we're gonna do it anyway. And they just disappeared, so we're very pleasantly surprised. So we have a couple other concepts that we're not doing another Chia Pet, but things in that zone. But if I talk about what they are, that will spill the beans on the bigger thing because they're sort of tied together.
Is it a clapper?
You got me.
Two-part question. First of
Yes.
all, love my token. Will there
Yes.
be a second token this year?
Perhaps.
And second part, I can't wait to get my alien vinyl carrying case.
Yes.
What about a master's carrying case?
Yeah, we have plans to do that as well. It'll be a little bit. It won't be at San Diego. That's a little bit later on, but it's the kind of thing we made the tooling to make action figure carrying cases. All we really have to do is make new artwork.
And kudos to the artist too.
Yeah, well, that's Jason is ridiculously good. So we will probably see a master's carrying case at some point.
Thanks.
What about the way Star Wars had like the C-3POs that opened up carrying cases? What about a Castle Grayskull that opens up? This way you get a play set and any carrying case.
That would be rad. It's a lot more expensive to make.
I think everybody here would buy one of those, right?
Yeah.
Guaranteed sales of 40 people.
I love the idea. I wouldn't rule it out, but no plans at the moment, at least.
Along those same lines, maybe not a Darth Vader head. What about a Skeletor head that just opens up?
Grayskull would be cool. I would probably go with the Skeletor myself. I'm kind of a nerd for Skeletor.
One of the things I loved at the Super 7 store last Comic-Con was that poster of Skeletor where he's holding the brandy snifter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. Do you guys have any plans to reprint that at all?
That one is probably not going to come back just because we did an edition and it sort of came and went. And that's the same artist who did the backing card artwork. And it's, we can certainly talk to him and see if he's open to doing another batch. I think his MO is to sort of do a run, have it come and go, and then move on to the next thing. So it's more likely that we would do something different with the same guy than reprint that one.
Other questions? Anybody?
Any more dream tumblers?
Yeah,
The glasses?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely. That's we're going to just continue that as an ongoing series, both with the that back cross-sell artwork, continuing that because people seem to be into that. They're fun to make. And then, you know, it's just an easy format to put out different art. So, you know, we may do something with Jason's card back art. We may do some, you know, cartoon line art style comic book panels. It's the door's wide open, just whatever people are into.
Any other questions? Questions?
I'll come up again.
Okay.
So I might be the only person to be interested in this, but have you ever thought of doing like He-Man characters in a Tiki Mug style?
I had not.
Combine two vintage like concepts, and that I feel that would really sell because they appeal to the Tiki people and appeal to us.
It's an interesting idea. We'll consider.
I noticed that too.
Well, there you go. You're not the only one.
Have you guys thought of doing a subscription service through Digital River?
Through digital what?
Stay far away from them.
Digital River does the classics, they distribute the classics, mailing issues of that.
Question as far as, you know, you did for Comic-Con last year, and I know you guys have something cooked up for this year for Comic-Con. You did the Mossman Chia Pet. What, as far as any thoughts to any of the products we used to see as kids, like, you know, Skeletor Bank, He-Man toothbrush holder, you know what I mean? This is stuff, awesome stuff like that. Inflatable Battle Cat, you know?
Yeah, that would be fun. I mean, really, we've been super lucky with working with Mattel. They give us, especially for things that are just for a Comic-Con event and that type of thing, they give us pretty huge leeway to do more or less whatever we want. So if it's something that we think is cool and fun, then it's on the table.
I may have missed this at the top, but is there? Could you talk a little about your role over at Super 7 and what are some of the properties that you work on?
So Super 7 is it's a pretty small team. So there's Brian, who's the owner and sort of the he sort of decides which direction we drive, and then I make the stuff. So I do. Well, currently I guess my title would be art director. So I design the figures, I design the packaging, and then sort of work with a sculptor, work with an illustrator like Edmiston to get the things to be exactly the way we want them to be. And then I also work with on the factory side to get things produced and the logistics and whatnot. But over the years, I've worn pretty much every hat. I started working at the store 10 years ago when I was in school, just as like a part-time job, sweeping the floor, and then graduated to running the register, and then graduated to shipping out the web orders. And then as time went on and as different people came and went from the company, as people would leave, rather than hire someone, I would just step in and take on those roles. And so I kind of just kept climbing up, and now I sort of do the everything, I guess, to some degree.
That's great, well done.
Oh, thanks.
Is there a certain product, kind of a dream product for you, if not something you guys have already done already, maybe something that's character specific that you're really looking forward to?
There is, and we will be releasing it at San Diego.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, last year you released the mounted Battle Cat head on the wall. Any chance of maybe giving us an opportunity to get the rest of Battle Cat, like maybe a mittens and slippers or a rug? You know, if you're gonna, use every part of it.
Yeah. We'll see.
Other questions? So when you were growing up, what got you into He-Man? Like, what was it something that you connected with as a kid?
Yeah, it was on every day when I got home from school, and I had a couple of the toys, and it was just it just became my favorite show. And I played with the toys all the time. I would take them out in the backyard and dig in the dirt and all of that, and set up battles and everything. And it just kind of resonated because it was a good story, fun characters, the toys were great, and just over the years I just remained interested. I would go to comic shops and thrift stores and stuff in high school, and anytime I'd see some old He-Man figures, 25 cents back then at like flea markets and stuff, I'd just scoop them all up. And it's like, I have 6 Skeletors already, why am I buying the 7th? I just couldn't not. And so it's always just been a part of what I was interested in.
With the reaction and the Mo Tussle figures, you're doing like the really some of the really well-known characters. Is there a chance that you would even do like if you went far enough, like characters that only appeared in the cartoon or in comics and things like that, just kind of out there characters?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no limit to how deep we can go. I mean, the only limit is at some point if it becomes stale or uninteresting, then we'll stop. But there's so many cool characters, and it doesn't have to be tied to what the original toys were or what it's just what else is out there. So we're open to it.
A follow-up to Danielle's previous question.
Yes.
Are you into Masters of the Universe Classics? And if so, what are some of your favorites that you have?
I don't have any of them. I have paid attention to them and I like them, but it's just not what I collect. I live in a very small apartment, so it's I have my old toys, my old Masters toys, and then I also collect these like weird, crusty old dinosaur toys and big blow mold Skeletor bootlegs. And so I've stayed away from the classics, but just because I don't have space for them.
I hear that pain, brother.
Yeah.
Other questions?
So now you've shown us 2 incarnations of the muscle packaging.
Yes.
I remember one as a kid. I don't remember him. There might be 20, 30 of them in there.
Mm-hmm.
Any plans potentially down the road? At least maybe me just airing a wish list here.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We'll start talking about some interesting things beginning of July.
Anybody have other questions? Or just about Super 7 in general, reaction figures?
I just had another idea. If you decide to do Skeletor Slayer again, maybe next year, maybe like a 80s style old He-Man punching bag that you blow up,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
One question and also another product idea. As far brainstorming here.
I know the old or the Super 7 store is open all year. But I've only been there during Comic-Con. What does it look like the rest of the year? Is there a lot of He-Man influence during the rest of the time?
It's a mix. There's a lot of things because we do a range of different things outside of He-Man. We do it's full of other reaction figures. It's full of our original characters, T-shirts that are non-He-Man. We keep our He-Man stuff there as well, but we also have Star Wars T-shirts. We're doing a bunch of stuff with Capcom now as well. Other pint glasses. We sell old movie posters from the 70s and 60s and that type of thing. Old, just weird old toys. So it's kind of a mix of everything you see that we do with Masters, just expanded to other stuff.
Cool. And yeah, I guess more along the same lines of the affiliate stuff, like any ideas for like patches, all the stuff that we had as a kid. Patches, pillowcases, weird kind of things. Yeah. On eBay, I see a lot of vintage patches, but they just don't look that good of quality where you can like iron them on. They would actually look like anything. So.
What do you think is your favorite figure that you've designed?
I'm sorry, my favorite
figure that you've designed?
Favorite figure I've designed is a character called Earthwolf. It's an original character, and it's this big vinyl toy, and it's basically a werewolf that is part wolf, part tree. And it's pretty weird. Look it up. I wish I had a picture here that just pop on the screen.
Other questions? Anybody got any other questions? All right, well, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.